All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Patterson Report podcast. I'm Brandon. That's Ryan. And Eagles have a little bit of a mini bye situation. Um, so we get to enjoy our Sunday, which is nice. I'm personally a big fan of when the Eagles don't play on Sunday. Because then I can just kick back, watch 3 slates of games, and enjoy it. I don't mind when we play Thursdays or Mondays because, the work day's been stressful. The Eagles are going to be stressed. I'm already in that state. Something about my Sundays, especially the way we're playing now, we're going to get to that in a second. I like Sunday to watch other people's teams and just enjoy football. I don't like being stressed out on Sundays.
Yeah, Sundays they've been ruining a couple of the Sundays, even though they played on Friday and various other days. They're still ruining the weeks because it's just so tough to watch this football team. It feels like the offense doesn't have any answers and the defense is breaking now. And now we have Jalen Carter's shoulder injuries where he's week to week. So it's really rough to watch this football team week in and week out.
You put it in a good way there, because when everybody's seemingly except for the team has realized that the way they do. God, dude, it just sounds like 2 years ago. Everybody but the team knew the way they were winning was unsustainable. Vic Fangio was painting a masterclass every single game. The defense was spending 65, 70% of the game on the field. And everyone kept kind of saying, this is great for right now, but these guys are going to wear out. There is no way you can continue to win in the NFL when you can't score 20 points. You can't. And sure enough, the last couple games, I have a hard time even getting angry, annoyed, upset, whatever, with the defensive performance because these guys have been asked to do way too much for what we have. I mean, the secondary is banded together, and they've done admirable with the talent available, I would say. The front sevens had to carry the load, but they're finally starting to break down. It was always inevitable that the defense wasn't going to be able to be the 80s Bears for 17 games. It wasn't going to happen, and we were just hoping that the offense would get fixed before we're at where we're at now. But to your point, now we're sitting here with a broken offense, a banged-up defense, and this is, I think, if I understand correctly, this is our last even mini kind of bye of the season. We're just in it the rest of the way, so there's no room for changes now. This is just, unfortunately, who we are.
Yeah, it's who we are, and I don't like it a lot. It's the rushing defense was a hallmark of this team the past couple of weeks. They gave up 250 yards on the ground to Kaminunga and DeAndre Swift. The offense, I don't think Kevin Patullo, I gotta phrase this nice. I'm thinking of the words to say, but Saquon was working. It was working out on Friday. He was gaining yards on his runs, except for the one where the offensive line tripped over each other and stumbled into each other because they have some sort of disconnect that I don't know what's going on there. But Saquon was working, and they just went away from him. And they got dominated by the Chicago Bears in time of possession, rushing yards, just everything. And now the Bears are the 1 seed, and we don't have the tiebreaker over them, which I can't believe they're the 1 seed, but season's been
It's been weird. And they look good. I mean, credit to Chicago. They looked good.
But Caleb Williams is one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks on the season. That shows you what a good head coach does. He masks the issues of the team. Nick Sirianni is just a cheerleader on the sidelines. That's basically what it is. He brings nothing. I'm sorry. I have to say it. I'm speaking from the heart here. That's what I believe. He doesn't bring anything.
It's what it's becoming. And you could, when things were good, you could make the argument that, there is something to be said for the locker room guy, the guy that keeps, the team together, the vibes guy to a degree. He kind of gave this team he brought a toughness back to the Eagles that I think was missing towards the end of the Doug period. So you could talk yourself into him making up for his lack of X's and O's with the intangibles. Problem is, we are now on the second unmitigated collapse after losing a great offensive coordinator. And it really kind of makes you wonder, like, okay, he's been to 2 Super Bowls, but why did he get to those 2 Super Bowls? Shane Steichen has turned out to be a sensational head coach in the NFL. I mean, that Colts team is not talented enough to be as good as they are. He's making Daniel Jones look like probably top 15 starting quarterback, and he was a backup last year. So you look at that, and you go, okay, Shane Steichen probably drugged that team to that Super Bowl. We all kind of knew it in the moment, too. Then the Brian Johnson disaster. Then you bring in Kellen Moore, and everything's all great again. It's, Nick Sirianni, great coach, high winning percentage, team, this, that, and the other thing. Then Kellen Moore goes and gets a head coaching gig. Nick Sirianni tries to hire from within. I got the idea. It made sense in the moment. Kevin Patullo sucks. So I'm kind of switching over to your camp here a little bit is, well, how much of this is actually you, and how much of this is every once in a while you hit a home run on an OC hire?
But look, that Phineas and Ferb meme with Dr. Doofenshmirtz where he gets 2 nickels?
Yeah. The fact that there's only 2 nickels, the fact that it happens twice.
Yeah, the fact that it's happened twice is kind of strange where our head coaches go down with their OC buddies. It's kind of comical at this point. But you go at it.
So my whole thing with I don't know. I look around the league, and there are obviously great head coaches. It is such a gamble when you make a head coaching change, especially one after you just won Super Bowl. So I don't think that's imminent. But he's got to be smart enough to see what's not working. Like, I'm not. Frank Reich just got released from his charitable donations to Stanford. Whatever, they had some weird thing going on there where he was seeing the program through, I guess, a gray area, whatever he was doing over there.
Him and Andrew Luck, yeah.
Yeah, he's free again. And we've done this before. I forget who we did it with, where, Matt Patricia was a special consultant or whatever. Get Frank Reich in here to special consult. I know you don't want to fire your buddy and publicly humiliate him or whatever, but meet me in the middle. Bring another voice into the room.
Yeah, bring another voice in the room. I mean, Nick Foles, I've seen we talked about his podcast a little bit. I mean, bring him in. I'd love that.
Doug's not doing nothing.
Yeah, these guys are just there. They're doing nothing. It's bring him into the room. What can it hurt? But man, if I know you said you can't see a head coach being fired, I would can Sirianni in an instance if Kevin O'Connell gets fired in Minnesota. In an instance, I don't
think there's a world where Kevin O'Connell gets fired in Minnesota.
You never know. Yeah, I'm just throwing it out there. They're really bad right now. He's a great coach, and I think a lot of people know it. So I don't think it's going to happen. But if that scenario were to present itself, I'm kicking Sirianni out the door almost instantly.
Yeah, I mean, if one of the most respected head coaches gets, unexpectedly fired.
You never know. I mean, the GM has not drafted well there. They could get just canned altogether. You never know. Just saying. I've seen weirder things.
I just think, and you don't have to do it publicly because, again, there's a facade you need to maintain. But I just don't see how. I don't think a head coaching change is coming.
Just should though.
Again, organizationally, it's tough to do when everything is seemingly. Now, if they lose out or something horrible happens, then everything's on the table. But if they make the playoffs, win a game, then get bumped or whatever, I don't see it happening. However, I do think that personnel needs to be taken off of Nick's plate. He just can't hire. I mean, Vic Fangio, whoever's decision that was, maybe it was Nick's, I don't know, has been a godsend.
Doesn't feel like a Nick decision after he hired his buddy.
But every time Nick has tried to hire somebody who wasn't the obvious choice, like Kellen Moore was the obvious choice. That was easy.
Vic was obvious too, coming back home.
Yeah, but every time they've gone, you know what, Nick, go find us a guy to run the offense, defense, etc. He has struck out every single time. So I think somebody else needs to be handling coaching personnel.
Yeah, I just want to go back. I'm going back on Twitter right now. I want to go back to, there it is, the post that Kevin Patullo has been named the offense coordinator on February 19th. And all of the comments knew exactly what was coming. Like you read
It
this,
felt
this,
like Brian Johnson again.
this is fresh. This is 18 or so days, probably a little less, or so days off a Super Bowl. Everyone's like, oh, we're cooked. See you later. Have fun in 2027.
Well, because we've seen exactly that play out once already. We've done this before.
Yeah, I kind of talked myself into it throughout the season, and I've been proven wrong and wrong and wrong over and over and over. Because man, oh man, it's bad hire.
The only angle that made sense when you started to see, there's another chart, I'm sure everybody's seen it. There's the list of play callers that Jalen Hurts has had to deal with since he started at Alabama. Like,
Big list.
2 years and never having the same play caller 2 years in a row is unbelievable for a quarterback who has to work. It'd be like your boss getting fired annually. Like it would wear on you eventually. So I could see the thought there that if Kevin Patullo. Now, we had to assume that Nick knew that his guy was competent, which he did not. But hiring within, giving Jalen some stability, in theory, made sense. Now, if we had known that the only other guy who was running the offense with the Eagles couldn't spell, then, yeah, maybe we would have gone elsewhere. But we weren't privy to that information. He was a passing game coordinator. They just had a great year offensively. You thought, well, this should be fine. Nope. Nightmare. And you look, there's not another guy there where you can clearly point to, let's see what he's got. Like, there isn't the whole offensive coaching staff outside of Stout, who's the run game coordinator. He wouldn't be of any help in this instance.
He's not been doing great either this year, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, Stout has so much equity built up with me that I don't care.
He's got the equity with me too, but
he's allowed one bad year. He just is. Nobody.
I know. I'm not firing any crazy takes about Stoutland. I promise.
Yeah.
It's just you just got to realize it's not his year, but it's fine. It happens. He's so many gems. It doesn't matter.
I mean, you look at what. I think we all got so confident in the fact that no matter what we put in front of him, he was always going to make it work. And I think it takes me back a little bit, and this is a different team, but remember how the Green Bay Packers used to treat Aaron Rodgers in that offense, where they spent no money on offense. They figured if they gave him guys
first-round receivers.
No, 2 legs and 2 hands, Aaron was going to make it work.
We're signing Mercedes Lewis off the streets. Here you go.
Those type of moves, yes.
It was exactly. I remember that. They're like, "How much help does Aaron Rodgers need?" I think that was the first round pick he's ever thrown a touchdown to was Mercedes Lewis.
Probably.
That was like really late in his career.
Yeah, it did because Devontae was a second rounder. But yeah, so it felt like we got to that point with Stout where we were just watching talent walk out the door, not really replacing it, and going, "Yeah, but it's Stout. We'll be all right." And then he couldn't turn Kenyon Green around, which apparently nobody could. So I mean. That was another one of those instances where it's like, oh, yeah, he'll fix him. No one could fix him. Tyler Steen has been fine at best. Cam Jurgens took a massive step back. Landon Dickerson's hurt, but has also taken a huge step back. Lane Johnson, you never knew when that cliff was coming. It's here. Like you look at
what cliff. It's more so the injuries. He's still playing at a high level when he's out there.
Yeah, he just can't be out there. I mean, he's missing almost every other game this season. And so you look at the room that Stout's dealing with at the moment. He's got a quarter of Lane Johnson, half of Cam Jurgens, half of Landon Dickerson, a first-year starter, and then Jordan Mailata. Like he's not been
good this year.
No, he's the penalties have been rough for him. I mean, the play's been decent, but it's just been undisciplined. But all this is to say, I mean, the O-line that's been a strength for so long just took an absolute shit this year, and it was a series of events that you couldn't see coming.
Yeah, but it hurts everyone because I think Jalen is a quarterback that needs a good bit to go right for him. And like he's not one of these situation kind of guys where it's, he could elevate like a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes. He's not one of those guys. And Saquon, a running back is always basically a product of their situation. And no matter how special you are, it just happens. And it's tough that it happened this year.
Yeah, and I think Jalen's a big game flow kind of guy. Like you see, with his best games, he's gotten hot early, and he doesn't slow down. But he's able to be dynamic. Like every game, I mean, you watch the games too. Every national broadcast has talked about the lack of designed QB runs this year, and I get why. I mean, if you're not confident in your O line, you're not going to put Jalen in that position. But it also limits his involvement and able to get into a flow early. We know he's a good, not great passer. That's not his comfort zone. He likes to be dynamic with his legs. He likes to get out of the pocket. He likes to run. And then that opens up the pass. That opens up Saquon. It all kind of spiders out from his ability to be dynamic. And what we're having to do now is have him throw out of the pocket because we don't have those holes to run through. We don't have the run game to keep people honest. So, and you don't have the passing game either. So teams are able to leave two linebackers and just keep an eye on Jalen. Basically, nothing's working.
Yeah, and that circles me all the way back to the Bears because you see what their offensive line did. They did in the offseason. You know, they got out. They acquired Joe Thuney. They replaced their right guard, Jonah Jackson, who's in there now from the Lions, and I believe he played for the Rams last. A good offensive line hides so much for your team.
Absolutely.
And it shows in every facet of the game. I mean, Jalen still takes a lot of time to throw, but is it the offensive line? Is it the processor? I don't know. There's many debates about that. I'm going to get into that during the offseason when I have time to dig into that. But everything is a product of the O-line, and it stinks that it's slowed down. I mean, Mekhi Becton was such a key piece last year, and now I believe he's benched in Los Angeles. So
yeah, he got pulled out of the last game. So he could
he's coming home. Dog. He's coming home.
That should have been a 1 year. Look, we both screwed up. What's your number? Just please come home.
Just don't. Just how he can handle that one early on. Which also brings me to, come on, Buffalo.
I know.
Darius Slay thing. He wanted to come home. It would have been perfect.
And he did. He never wanted Buffalo. Buffalo should have known that.
And now he's not going to play for him.
I saw. Well, I think he was ready to just be done. But it was like, you know what? He loves Philly. His wife loves Philly. We need him. Like, I think
his wife's tweet basically confirmed that. Like
that he was coming. Well, I think he
wanted to come back.
We were a couple spots away from Buffalo. Like it was right there.
I think it was like one. No, it was one. It was like one.
Yeah, like he was coming. So I don't know. I this is not even Eagles related, but I did see some former NFL player commented on it. I'll never be able to find it, but something where if you're a vested NFL vet, which I believe is 10 years seniority, 9 or 10, that the waiver wire shouldn't apply to you anymore.
I saw that agree with that. Because Adam Thielen, who wanted to go to a contender, is now sitting up for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, like I think at a certain point in your NFL tenure, you shouldn't be subjected to the waiver wire anymore. I do think that makes a lot of sense.
I could hard agree on that one. I could get behind that one pretty easily.
But either way, we're not going to get Slay back. It doesn't appear. I mean, he's been one of the worst corners in football this year, so who knows what that would have even looked like. But he always played well in Midnight Green, so maybe he turned the clock back for a half season. We're never going to know. But it's going to be a bumpy ride down the stretch.
A very bumpy ride indeed.
We'll see. We'll see what they have against LA. I'm not holding out too much hope. But that is that's Monday night game, another primetime game, another opportunity for them to embarrass us in front of a national audience. We'll see. I've got to remember that I'm saying this. We'll see what Ryan and I's schedules look like. Next week's episode will either be on Tuesday or Thursday, depending on if that game requires an emergency press conference or not. But
yeah. I mean, if I watch Ladd McConkey dice the team up on the Monsters Inc. edition, I'm gonna crash out.
Yeah, then we're gonna have to call an emergency meeting within 24 hours. But
it's a very emergency meeting if we lose on the Monsters Inc. show.
Yeah, if we get embarrassed in front of Sully and the boys, then we're gonna have to intervene.
The Kelby Greens, the All Blacks,
and the
Enough is
monsters.
enough. No Mike Wazowski embarrassment in this organization.
No, I can't have it. But that's up to the Eagles, not up to us. But until such a time, I'm Brandon. That's Ryan. This is the Passing Report, and we'll see you next week, whenever that may be.